And Marcus, welcome to the BlockHash podcast, episode 215. How are you doing today?
Doing great. Thank you, Brendan. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. It's awesome to have you here. I'm very excited to talk about what you guys are doing with XYO and everything you have going on. Before we do, tell me more about yourself. I want to learn a little bit more about your backstory, how you kind of got into the space, and where you are now. Give us a little bit of a rundown.
Yeah, sure. First, thanks for the invitation, and it's great that you're excited about XYO as well. Yeah, I'm from Germany originally, and when I was 18, I started out. I built a fashion company, and then started studying in Germany and then some other places. And I started to move around the world. I lived in the United Arab Emirates and in China and Australia, Italy, Israel, and then the US. And I was a business consultant, then moved into startups, from startups into tech, and then a lot of tech, and then obviously into blockchain. In 2013, we tried to build a distributed computing company and did Bitcoin mining, and then you were still able to do it on regular computers. It's
Hmm.
unimaginable today, I think. And yeah, out of that, it wasn't profitable enough, unfortunately, at the time because we were in like a Bitcoin dip, and so we rejiggered the whole network and sold distributed computing to hedge funds and pharma companies to solve their big data problems. And that was my first touch with blockchain and cryptocurrencies.
Nice. Was there anything in particular about blockchain that made you want to start playing around with it and working in the space and doing stuff, or anything that got you excited about it or inspired you?
Yeah, it's such a it was in 2013. It was an esoteric concept. Nobody like you had like price movements and so on, right? But the volume was small, right? And not many people touch it, so it became more like it was more cultish. And I really liked that because it was everybody knew everyone in a way. You had a very small field of players, and we had a few million participants, like computers, which so we were a large part of mining at some point, and that felt good. Like everybody could participate, and was super 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 easy. Today, I think it's more difficult, unfortunately, on the Bitcoin side.
Hmm.
However, now it's easy to spin up a ERC20 and start your project. And so in another way, it got easy somewhere else. But what attracted me was the ease to participate and have fun with it, and that how and with the decentralization actually. Then it big tech was already big tech 2013. That's 9 years ago, and wow, I'm old.
You look good.
And thank you. Um, but it it allowed. It was already a little rebel like, and who would have known, that it turns into such a rebel like blockchain as it is today. It's amazing.
I got started off as a miner too, way
Oh,
back in the day. I was doing it with GPUs. We were building custom mining rigs. We get all the computer parts and pretty much build a computer from scratch, and then we get like 5 or 6 GPUs and hook them all up and mining all kinds of different things. It was kind of off and on profitable. I'm sure you're aware of it. Doing it, it's a very difficult thing because of the hash rates always fluctuating and the prices and there's a 6 months period where it, probably does really well and you make a bunch of money, and then there's another period where it's really hard to just pay off the miners and the rents
right.
and the
Right.
electricity, and it's not an easy business to be in. And I'm surprised people are still doing it today.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, yeah. You know how difficult it is, but that's why we try to do something else with it. In a way, we built one of the first distributed computing networks. Now there are others in the blockchain world, as you know, and we took the same concept and did it without blockchain. We actually allowed people to use software for free, and in return, they gave us some of the computing power, and so we ran those nodes and we participated in a project, the University of Washington on cancer research, and we 150x their computing power of their supercomputers. our system, which was awesome and powerful as well.
Yeah. So what are you guys doing now with XYO? What is it all about, and what's the goal? What are you guys trying to do?
Yeah, so our company went through some transitions and pivots. It was always around location. So we started out in 2012 with location IoT devices like GPS trackers and Bluetooth finders, key finders, this type of stuff. Then in 2017, we realized location gets easily spoofed or hacked. Right, you can download the GPS spoofing app and pretend that you are in San Diego right now while you're actually in Las Vegas, let's say. And it's a problem for any second app on your phone or for automated supply chains and so on. And so we built the XYO network. The original purpose of the XYO network was to prevent location spoofing. So the idea was that you have IoT devices which interact with each other as you walk down the street. Let's say your phone is enabled, and then there might be a chip in the car and a chip in a parking meter and so on. You interact with them, and so you have a proof of where you came from, your proof of origin. You have bound witnesses between those devices, and then you know where you land. Let's say your e-commerce package makes it on your doorstep. You have proof, the seller has proof, right? And then one ETH gets sent to the seller, let's say. And we realized that's XYO 1.0. And then we realized that there's so much more than just location, and that we can actually take an amazing picture of the physical reality and put it into digital realities like smart contracts and just connect the two. And you can do that with any IoT, like temperature sensors, let's say, or light sensors, and so on, but also can collect offline data and we have some of our nodes, they are collecting offline data, so that people go and collect, let's say, POI data. And we can, through XYO technology, we can verify and validate that data, and then we sell it to companies. And so now we are, everything there still has a location component in a way, because the data point, it's important, like where that was generated, right? And that gives you certain proofs, location and time. But now it's more about the connecting of the digital and physical reality. So like you as a person or something, or which path something took, you can, for example, show that in the metaverse or in whatever digital reality is relevant to.
Yeah, what's the biggest benefit of combining, IoT and this data collection and being able to put it into a smart contract? What does that allow you guys to do differently?
Yeah, for example, you can have real-time trustless tracking of anything, really, right?
Hmm.
So the package I mentioned, you can put an NFC sticker on there, and then it gets automatically scanned as it hits certain path along the way, and so you have a trustless automated supply chain if you want to, or self-driving cars or smart cities, and there's so many applications, and there's everybody's talking about the metaverse. We
Hmm.
talked about this, I don't know, 5 years ago, and it was trendy in a way. It became hype, in the last 3 months, but before it was trendy over the last few years, I think. And it's you imagine, yeah, like what Nike's doing, right, with NFTs and bringing them into the metaverse, right? XYO can prove that, let's say, your shirt or your headphones, right, really exist in the physical
Hmm.
world, right? We can say they're yours, that you bought them, the proof of ownership, all these things, and then we connect them through an NFT to the metaverse, and your avatar in the metaverse would carry the same headphones, right? And let's say they're limited edition, then you had suddenly more value for an item in the physical and the digital world, and then you can lend it to a friend, right? And your friend automatically pays you through a smart contract, let's say, pays you some money, so participates in your ownership, basically. And so it's like in the play to earn ways, play to earn is connecting real world items into this game realities will make game play to earn explode, and then it's more than there's more play to earn. I think it's a little narrow of a term. I think it's engage to earn, right? So it's engage with your podcast, or engage with a game, engage with a book, engage with something, right? And then for that you get rewarded as you reward the author, but you reward the person who gave you the book and whoever, right? There could be so many dynamics, and we are right in there as the connector between all these worlds.
That's really cool. Do you guys have real partnerships right now that you're actually doing this stuff with, that you can give examples of?
We do, yeah. We have a few actually, and we haven't announced them yet.
Oh, okay. Well,
So,
when are you gonna announce them? I'm sure that people want to know.
I hope this quarter.
Okay.
We have like some incredible things going on. I don't know if you know, we are a profitable company. It's very rare in the blockchain space, as you know. Usually the finance type companies like exchanges and so on, they make money, or smaller operations. But a company of our size, we managed to be quite profitable in 21 out of operating income, and hope to grow much more in 22, of course. And this, we are only able to do that because we have these amazing partnerships on people who buy data and support our ecosystem. We managed to build a model where maybe 80% of our people who come into our ecosystem are non-blockchain and crypto people. So that you and I are a crypto nerd, right? It's
Sure.
for us, it's like, okay, MetaMask, this, that, Web3, easy, right? But for my grandma, it's not that easy. And so we create an ecosystem which makes it easy for people to come in. Then we make them crypto nerds, and then they participate in our ecosystem, and then 95% of them cash out with their XYO and hold it somewhere, and amazing things are happening. And then the same happens on the revenue side. We have lots of partners which are in traditional industries, and when we start talking with them, we don't tell them, oh, we are a blockchain or crypto company. We tell them, okay, we have this solution for you. Do you want to check it out? And then we ease them into the blockchain and crypto part, and because of that, we have just a lot of partners who are working with us, and I think this is a way to make blockchain companies very resilient, because your addressable market becomes really infinite.
Do you guys have a token or a token ecosystem based around what you guys are doing, that maybe represents the data, represents the company, or anything that you guys are trying to do with combining all this data and smart contracts and all these things?
Yeah. We have a token called XYO, XYO Oracle Network, and we have, as part of the XYO network, we have 4 components. There are the sentinels, which are devices which collect the data, bridges, which relay the data, archivists, which store the data, and the diviners, which crunch the data to give you the best answers, like, did my e-commerce package make it onto my doorstep? And all these devices get incentivized with XYO to participate. And so as the data becomes useful for something, they get rewarded. And so to launch that off, in the beginning, as a small company, it's difficult to create IoT partnerships with companies like, let's say, Verizon, right, or T-Mobile. But so we launched an app called Coin, and Coin has more than 4 million downloads now. We can announce that. It's really new. It happened 2 days ago, so it makes us one of the largest blockchain networks in the world. And Coin is an augmented reality gamified utility, which lets you earn rewards as you explore the world, and you do things inside the app and outside the app for this data collection. And we make it in a way that, as I said, it's easy for people to come in, and all of those people basically get incentivized with XYO. But inside the app, you can also exchange for PlayStations or guitars or AirPods, sweepstakes entries, those kinds of things. So if you don't want to deal with crypto and something, we allow you to not do that as well. And people do it and are happy about it.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about the dynamics of the Coin app. Like if I download it and put it on my phone, how can I participate in it that's beneficial to me in the ecosystem? Like what do I do more specifically?
Yeah, can do a bunch of things. So there's a passive in the background, bound witnesses, which are interaction between devices, which allow you to collect some coin, and then
Hmm.
you do geo mining, and then you can do in-app things like location-based surveys or things, and then there's offline data collection. I mentioned before with a POI data collection, and so we are adding more and more ways to earn because of micro gigs with more and more partnerships, and our partnerships grew several 1,000% over the last 12 months.
Hmm.
And we want it to be like worth the while, that it becomes like supplementary income, and it is for a lot of people who participated early in the ecosystem. So right now, on a per daily basis, it depends on which zip code you are. But we had the case in some zip codes in New York, for example, you were able to earn like $100 a day because of the offline data collection. But
Hmm.
if you just do like very simple things, it's not that much. But then over time, the XYO token price appreciated, right? So we have someone who earned $1.9 million just by using the coin app. It's totally insane.
Oh
He
my
started
goodness.
in
That's a
2019.
lot.
Yeah, he started in 2019, always cashed out his XYO into a wallet, kept it in that wallet, and didn't do anything. And then earned $1.9 million. We have this case study of 500 users, and one of them like paid off his mortgage, another one went on a 20-year delayed honeymoon, another one bought a new
Hmm.
car and moved to a new city. And those 500 people, they earned $24 million until the end of August. And then in September, XYO got listed on Coinbase. So you can imagine what happened. The 24 million were quickly more than 24 million.
It sounds like you have a life-changing app. You download the app, pay off your mortgage, go on your
Yeah,
honeymoon.
yeah. It can be right. It's life changing in two ways. One of the ways, of course, is if the token price goes up, and then there is a way for you to have lots of money. But it's life changing also because it's an on ramp into crypto and blockchain. We make it
Hmm.
so easy, right? We have different ad campaigns. One of them targets, for example, truckers and drivers, right? And say, okay, be part of this ecosystem, right? You can earn more because you move around a lot, which creates more data, and we have incredible success with that community. And those people suddenly become crypto people, and so our whole ecosystem will benefit from it. So basically, they benefit in two ways.
Got it. Let me ask you something. Um, you've mentioned the metaverse quite a bit in this conversation. What are your thoughts on it? Do you really think that's the future direction of where we're going with everyone's attention for social interaction, for connecting our daily lives and crypto and maybe IoT, or what does that look like to you? What does the metaverse kind of embody in your vision?
Yeah, I think there's going to be not only one metaverse, but several metaverses. Yeah, I think there's
Hmm.
like closed metaverses, like the one Facebook might build, right, or Meta now.
Hmm.
And there are open ones, which you see in the blockchain world, and then some in between. And I think there might be a metaverse, which is augmented reality. So where augmented reality means still see your reality, and you have overlays over it to let's say Pokemon's jump out at you,
Hmm.
or you see advertising, or you engage with something or something like that. And then there are the full metaverses, virtual reality, and skin suit, and all that stuff. And I think there's just so much ways to interact and learn and live your life. I think it can be very fulfilling, and I think it only becomes fulfilling if you have all of that, right? If you live in a virtual reality all your life, then I bet something might not go right with our brains, and so
Are we
I
are we
think
gonna live in virtual reality?
think so.
Think it's
I
possible?
think it's gonna be a mix between virtual and augmented realities. Yes, I think so.
Do you have any thoughts on centralized versus decentralized versions of the metaverse? Because obviously Facebook, now Meta, has really pioneered what virtual reality can be and what we can do, and they have their thing. They have alt space and whatever they build after that, and all these integrations. I think Amazon's doing something. Microsoft just bought Activision,
Right.
and they plan on doing something. But from the crypto side, the blockchain side, there's already so many metaverses that are incredibly popular and insane, and that have made people a lot of money and gone up in value and have attracted a lot of attention as well. Do you feel like there will be a balance maybe between the two, or do you think a lot of people will go maybe to the decentralized version because of all these added benefits and things like what XYO is doing that can benefit them in a decentralized metaverse? Or do you think people will gravitate more towards a centralized version like what Meta's doing or what maybe Microsoft will do in the future? Or where do you, I guess the question behind all of that is, where do you think people will gravitate to the most, or what'll be the most popular, centralized or decentralized?
I think you and I might prefer the decentralized version, but I think lots of users will prefer the best experience for them. And I think so. If we want it to be the decentralized version and the open metaverse, you have to make sure it provides the best experience over what Meta provides. And I think it's actually easy. Right now, it's all competition. We are all fighting. Oh, this is my metaverse. This is my metaverse. Like my token should be worth more. No, my token, like this type of stuff, right? And but what we actually need to do is work together, right? Create standards for the metaverse and cross-pollinate, allow your NFT to go from one to the next, to the next, to the next, right? And then you show ownership everywhere, and that way, I think it's going to attract lots of money and lots of finance. Like Meta and Microsoft can never attract, I think, at that size. And then with that money and with that integration and partnerships, I think the user experience is going to be much better on the decentralized side than on the closed Meta side, because Meta and friends are going to have buy your you have to buy everything through a Facebook store, and you can only buy the items which are approved by us, and you can only interact with the content we approve, and you can only do this and that. It's going to be very unfree, very sensitive. And the decentralized open one is going to be chaotic and crazy and crazy amounts of knowledge and anything you can imagine. And I think because of that, the open and decentralized version is going to win. But I think it's a hard process to get there.
Yeah, probably. Do you have a favorite metaverse or favorite one that you enjoy?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
There's so many.
Yes, there are so many.
My final question, then we'll start wrapping it up. What does the roadmap look like for XYO the rest of 2022? What are some things you guys are aiming for or want to accomplish that you want people to pay attention and keep an eye on?
Yeah, we're gonna release, or we plan to release XYO 2.0 probably at the end of this quarter, which is makes XYO faster in a way. You have more it allows better interactions between phones and some other devices. We call them reality oracles now. Basically, it brings reality into the digital world in a faster and broader way. So it's ready basically for 5G and everything. And then we are releasing some other secret thing, probably in the second quarter, which we haven't quite announced yet. Then we're gonna unlock. We have XYO World. It's like Decentraland, but XYO, and we released that 2 years ago, but it got stuck in gas fees with Ethereum, as so many things did. And we're gonna unstuck it, and it's a way to connect real land and properties and reality with the digital world as well, and the metaverse. And then we do something around layer twos, which is not quite spoken about yet, and a few other things. And then, of course, we're going to grow our user base. We're planning to grow by a lot this year in the user base. We have set up a super amazing team. We are over 50 people now at XYO, globally distributed. We need lots more. So if you have any skills in really anything, come and talk with us.
It sounds like you guys got a lot going on. Where can people go to keep up with all this stuff? Just the website? You guys have a blog or a Discord or a Telegram, or where should people go if they want to interact?
Twitter is good, I think. XYO Network, our website. A new version is going to come out in 2-3 weeks, and those are the best ways. I think our newsletter is really good. We have a very large newsletter, and just start and then get hooked and become part of it.
Perfect. It's a good place to wrap up. So much we could probably continue talking about.
Sure.
But Markus, thank you for taking the time to come on today. It was a pleasure to have you. We'll definitely hop on again in the near future when some of these secrets get unveiled. In the meantime, take care, and again, thank you.
Likewise. Thank you so much. It was fun, Brendan.
Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye.